Hello.
Hello, welcome to A Gay A NonGay. I'm James Barr. I am gay.
Yes, I'm Dan Hudson, and I'm not
You're not non-gay. Why can't you get that right, Dan? It's been.
I don't know.
I'm always 400 something episodes.
Do you know what it is? I'm trying to think of a different way of saying it, and then as I'm saying it, I'm like, actually, I'll just say it as normal. But it's by that point, it's too.
You could try Stragger.
By that point, it's too late.
Yeah.
Anyway,
today we are joined by the only openly LGBTQ owners of a professional sports club outside of the USA. I'm so excited they're both here. Ryan O'Neill and Kaue Garcia, the owners of Keighley Cougars, in the house.
Keighley with the TH.
Oh God!
You got it wrong.
Oh no! I'm gonna get shot.
You are going to get shot, lynched.
yeah.
I'm the only foreigner here. I have the excuse that, I got it wrong, but...
To be fair, the last person to get it really wrong was Queen Victoria when she did a visit to Keighley. No. And she called it Keighley, and it's like everybody in Keighley now has a real problem with anyone who says Keighley.
Of all the things Queen Victoria did wrong, that's at the top of the list.
Second
The Queens are here, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's Keighley, which is a small town outside of Leeds.
Correct.
Small but mighty.
We don't call it small.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm really failing here, Dan.
Yeah.
You.
By the way, for anyone that doesn't know, James used to live in Leeds, not that far from Keighley.
Yes, I did.
Right. You never ventured that far.
Leeds. I never ventured that far. I don't think I went to Keighley. I went to Wakey.
Wakey?
Wakefield, yeah.
Yeah.
There is
that
a
wow.
team
Is
there.
that the
You
same
see,
direction?
That's south. No, that's south.
Keighley is north.
You've heard of the Bronte sisters who wrote the books?
Yeah.
They're from Keighley. That's where they're from. Yeah.
The Bronte sisters.
Yes.
So this is a town with a huge cultural impact.
Absolutely.
And look what you guys have started.
Putting
It's amazing.
rainbows everywhere now.
Dan didn't want to Google the club.
Your Instagram page is Cougar Mania, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's not something I want to look up in a public place.
Why not? You're the
Why?
straight.
Well, I don't want
Kinda
people
your
behind
thing.
me to see what.
Oh,
I think if I Google Cougar Mania
it could go wrong, couldn't it?
I guess I
True.
thought he was going to get
True, yeah, but it's
women
just
of a
because
certain
gays
age.
are a bit kinky, weird, and like... But
Well-
that's more of a straight term, isn't
It's
it?
straight.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's-
Dan's the straight one.
Yeah.
In the end,
Wait,
I-
did you not know? Dan's the straight one.
I got that wrong, actually. I thought you were the one married to a wife.
No. That's
in the end, I did Google it in the privacy of my own home. I Googled Cougar Mania.
And how did it go?
It came up with yours, yeah.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Which was, I was amazed. I thought it was going to come up with a load of porn, but it didn't. So.
Oh, but you were so disappointed.
We have some cougars at the club.
Do you?
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah.
Firstly, why is it the Cougars?
The Cougars was created by actually my father. He was the chairman of the club in the 1990s, and we went to America. We went to an NFL game, and he was like, "Oh, we need to Americanise sport in the UK." So he said, "Oh, let's give Keighley Rugby League Football Club a more exciting name." So they put a competition out, and it became the Cougars.
That tells me a lot about how this journey started for you. So you've been married for 13 years, both of you.
Long
How did
years.
you first meet?
We met in Bangkok.
Really?
Yeah, we met in a DJ Station, which is the biggest sort of gay club in Bangkok. And
It's trying to find a husband.
Kaue was in
with a
Passport Corner.
Yeah.
Passport.
I don't know if you've been to Bangkok.
I'm joking. I was.
I haven't.
There is a corner called Passport Corner, and Kaue was there.
I was.
And I stumbled drunkenly into that corner and never left.
He flirted with me, but I wasn't looking for a passport.
Right.
Because I definitely did the wrong one then. Because, I work my ass off. And normally if you're trying to find just a husband, European, I would want an easy life.
I thought he was quite pretty, so I sort of flirted with him, and he was as cold as ice, like literally cold. And I thought, well, I'm punching above my pay grade anyway. But then, yeah, he probably thought a British passport at the time. As we're in the EU, it was probably handy. So he kept in touch with me.
So now that I can actually get a divorce now because I need an European one.
Right.
By the way, are you married?
Neither of us are European, unfortunately.
Oh,
I am. I'm Irish, so there we go.
Oh,
actually, yeah. Forgot
Great.
that.
The marriage is back on. I'm pleased. I'm pleased the divorce isn't happening right in front of us.
No, we're not getting divorced quite yet.
So your dad was the chairman of this.
In the mid-90s, yeah. And then he left in 96. It was somewhere that I went to have fun on a weekend, and I felt kind of important because my dad was a chairman and that kind of stuff. So when he left, I then obviously moved away, moved to university, moved to London, but always kept tabs on the club. And it was really doing like pretty poor throughout the years after my dad left. And then in 2018, it was basically going bankrupt. And I had this crazy idea, and I just said to Kaue, look, it's going to go bankrupt, it's going to close. And it's actually quite sad because it was a big part of my childhood. And I said, what about us maybe like saving it? It won't cost that much money, and it'll be quite good fun. And he was like, oh, okay, husband, whatever.
Disclosure, he didn't mention how hard it was, the amount of work we would have to put. He just said...
I didn't expect that either, to be fair.
It's going to be fun.
I thought we were just going to save it, and then we'd come back to London and live our normal life. And like, we'd have this club that would run itself, and maybe occasionally we'd have to put some money into it, but not a lot. And it was the total opposite.
You painted that conversation like it was nothing, but like, you know, friends of mine that are in couples, they're not discussing buying a rugby club. They're discussing whether they want to get a dog, adopt, I don't know, go to the cinema, open up their marriage, whatever. Like, but you bought a rugby club. So how did that conversation go?
It was just literally, I said, it was fun. Let's do it. And Coue is really supportive. I come up with really stupid ideas all the time, and he always supports these stupid ideas. And he was like, "Oh, if you think it's a good idea, husband, let's do it."
But it feels like the plot of a Disney Plus series, doesn't it? It feels like a TV show.
Yeah.
So we have just been in the front page of the New York Times, and that has got a lot of interest from loads of LA producers now. So we had a few meetings, and I don't even know if we can say, but there is talk there just to produce a doc series or a movie. And we signed with a production company in LA. So
that's so exciting.
It was
Should
a
we
bit crazy.
do this interview again once that's happened?
Well,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
I mean, it actually seems a no-brainer following the success of the football one.
Welcome to Wrexham.
Wrexham.
Yeah.
What's the one I'm thinking of?
The gay
Ryan
football.
Reynolds.
set in Richmond.
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Yes.
It feels like a no-brainer,
Yeah. Similar story.
The whole journey, we've been there now, 4 or 5 years? It has been the most stressful, exhilarating, horrific experience. Everything, every emotion you can imagine, running a rugby club in... I mean, it's a pretty small rugby. I mean, it's not like Manchester City. It's Keighley Cougars. It's a smallish rugby club. And oh my God, the drama.
Like, I want to know everything. What was it like on day one when you walked in and you were like, right, these two gays have showed up? Like, was it like the movie Pride, where there's all these minors just sat there like, what the hell are these people doing here?
Ryan did a bit of a prep to me, because he was like, look, there's nothing like London. We can hold hands here. So it was a bit of a shock for me, especially coming from Brazil and think, okay, Europe, you guys are very open-minded. Getting there, we were kind of a bit like, okay, where do we go? I was very impressed. This is a 8,000-seat stadium. So, you said it's small, but I think, it's quite a nice place.
It's half the size of the O2.
Well, there you go. But then
that comparable is bizarre.
Yeah,
when you come to Keighley, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, but it is.
Yeah, well,
O2 is like 15,000. So.
Yeah, well.
We were a bit shy, weren't we, really? People came to us really thanking us and being really appreciative that we saved the club. Like, why these people are thanking me? I was like, I don't know them. They don't know me.
When Coue says it's like a stadium, it was built 130 years ago. It's made of wood.
It's wood.
That's why that's why I'm saying the O2 comparison is probably...
What's your insurance like?
Yeah. I'm surprised anyone would even cover it, to be honest.
So this stat on your website, you're the only openly LGBTQ plus owners of a professional sports club outside of America. Is that still true? And if so, like what? Like, that's crazy.
It was a reference, actually, because there was an article that was, I think the journalist would have done his research, and I wasn't even aware there was someone in America. And actually, we tried to find, because I would like to have the title just the only, but now it's always you have to say outside of America.
We kind of heard that there was a lesbian married couple who owned a hockey team in America, but we've never actually found out who they are. So I think it's a con. I think we are the only ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
in the world.
I hope so.
And why do you think that is?
You don't really feel welcome, and that's a lot of the things that we created now. This environment, everyone feels welcome at Cougar Park. Really, they feel that they have a place in the sport facility, and they say that it comes from your background as well. That you said you never felt welcome playing sports because it's a bit like boyish. If you're a certain type of person, straight people probably get a lot better with football when playing sports. And gay, I don't know about you, but I was very sporty in Brazil, so I didn't have a problem. But all of my friends, when I think, they didn't come from the background of playing sports. It's actually, you are the academic type because probably it's not a very welcoming environment. You struggled playing sports.
I hated sport. I mean, I was a kid who used to plead to be in the full back, so I could just stand there and do nothing, pull my socks up to my shorts so I could keep warm, make like a pair of trousers. The ball would come to me, I'd run the other way. I mean, I was that kid.
Yeah.
So the fact I own a rugby club is just... if my rugby teachers saw me now, unfortunately they're actually in prison, also with paedophiles.
What?
But that's another story.
I hate rugby. I hate it. Sorry, no offense.
No, it's fine. You'll love it when you come to Keighley Cougars, because it's a different experience.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
It's just a fun day generally. So the rugby is obviously the central part to it.
Yeah.
But all around it, it's just like fun, entertainment.
And the occasional drag queen. So that's what sets us.
You have drag queens as well.
Wow. Yeah. And that's what Ryan, when we sat down. No,
Right.
not yet. We just made it fun because we thought that, you know, to break down people's barriers to LGBT and I don't like a pride game, those conceptions that straight people might have, even though they haven't seen a drag queen before, they haven't, you know, experienced their life.
Rugby league still is a very northern working class sport based in former pit towns, mill towns like Keighley. So it is the harder sport because it's kind of the harder men, the coal miners who played it.
It's so hot.
But so traditionally it's very male. It's very like it's very gritty.
I bet the other teams turn up and they're having an amazing time.
A lot of people hate us.
Right.
I'd say probably the majority hate us.
What, other clubs?
Yeah.
So, but they have to turn up and play you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice to our face.
Just because it's their obligation. If
That's
it was
so wild.
Yeah.
Are there any chants? You know, it's a football thing, I suppose, right? But do they come and chant stuff at you?
No, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No.
Okay.
Because rugby league is more of a family game.
Right.
So in the terraces you see generations, women there. So it's very friendly in that sense. It's not like a very scary like football terraces.
What I love about this so much is that you bought it obviously because of your like dad and it was close to you, but then you've also bought yourselves to it and made it really gay. And I don't think you did that because you necessarily, well, you tell me, I don't think you wanted to like put rainbows everywhere for any other reason than that you just wanted to feel welcome.
It was just a natural thing. It's like the way we have fun and is going out and partying and maybe watching a drag show. And we thought, well, what do we do to make this place a bit more fun? And they were like, let's have a drag queen. Let's, have music everywhere. Let's make it colourful. Let's have rainbows, flags flying
everywhere. You have a pride game and a pride stand.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
And India Willoughby is your is a patron.
Yes.
And she's the first transgender patron of a professional sports team.
Yeah.
Which is that is amazing. So cool.
India's amazing. I mean, I know she's quite controversial from a lot of stuff she said, but she is an amazing person, and like she's taken on the role like 100%. She loves it. She loves the game. She loves the club. She loves and everybody. I'm not gonna say everybody, but most people there love her. Like she comes up in hospitality. We have a lunch before the game, all the rest of it. And the first when we announced she was going to be patron, it was quite controversial, and J.K. Rowling was joining in, and we announced her to the hospitality room of 120 people. India's here, she's our new patron, and she stood up to give her sort of speech, and everybody stood up and applauded her. And I was like, this is fantastic. These are like most of them. I mean, no, not most of them. I'd say all of them were straight people.
Yeah.
And they were clapping a transgender patron of a rugby club, which I thought. When we decided to do the whole trans campaign this last season, which we did to raise awareness, we thought we were going to get killed for it. And we got a lot of shit for it, but overwhelmingly from the people we know and the people at our club, they supported it because they support us. And they think, okay, we didn't like gays before you guys came along. We now understand you. We've got no problem anymore. And now we talk about the trans thing, and we've got India there. We've got some other trans people, and they're seeing them and talking to them, having a drink with them, and actually thinking, yeah, it's not really a big deal. These are just normal people. And that, for me, now makes all the hard work and shit we've been through worth it, because it's a small difference, a tiny difference, but it is a bit of a difference. And in the world where we are now, any difference, it helps. You know what I mean?
And the Kings come round, right? King Charles.
It was a visit actually to Bradford,
Right.
just the district, and because we have the club and we try to promote inclusivity, so we got invited. The husband here was in Australia and he wanted to die.
You missed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it was just me.
So he had a meeting with Keir Starmer, the King.
And he was
I
always
missed all
traveling.
of it. I missed all of it.
Yeah.
Where were you traveling?
Where were you?
Yeah.
Where were
What were
you?
you doing? Buying up rugby clubs?
I was I don't know what I was doing, but I was in Australia
in
doing
Australia.
work. But
Because it was a very, very secret thing, because we got an invitation just saying, look, someone, a representative of the country, kind of giving you the hint really, would be at this place.
Someone whose name rhymes
Wow.
with
Yeah.
Knowles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just so fascinated. I think it's because my dad used to drag me to see Charlton Athletic football team every other Saturday when I was little. So I was in the stands and I was surrounded by all this like hyper masculine energy where everyone was like singing or screaming or throwing beers over each other and then hugging wildly if Charlton scored a goal, which to be fair wasn't very often. And then I recently went past the stadium, and they'd had a rainbow crossing installed with their logo, and it just meant so much because it's part of that childhood. It's that childhood part of us that needs to be healed, I guess.
Yeah.
And when you were there, did you feel like you were welcome then?
Well, I was so far in the closet, I was in Narnia, basically. So, no, it was the 1990s. It was the Northern Rugby place. You know, it was a rugby club. It was a traditional Northern working class rugby club in a northern town in a period where you could call someone a puff or a faggot, and it wasn't. You know, it was accepted. I remember my dad. I think it was Julian Clary came on TV and we're having dinner, and the TV was on, and I remember Dad saying, "Oh, to my mother, turn that puffer off." And Mum goes, "Oh, it's disgusting." And she gets up and she goes, because there were no remotes then, he was like, "Turn the telly off." And she turned off. And I remember thinking, "Oh my God, this is so awkward." And then I decided from that moment, there was no way I was going to be gay. Like, I couldn't be. So I was like, I'm going to push it as far down as possible. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have this life, because I'm not going to be accepted here unless I do that. And I got a girlfriend. I was, you know, we planned about getting married. We talked about having children. She was going to be a lawyer. I was going to be a lawyer. We were going to work in the same firm. It was all idyllic. And, you know, but every night I would go to bed, and because I come from a Catholic background, and even though I'm not religious in the slightest and wasn't then, I still said my prayers. And my first prayer was, please don't let anybody ever find out that I'm gay. And then I'd feel better, like, phew, God's going to protect me. And I'd get up, and then, you know, I'd live my straight life. This is another crazy story. I went to the Conservative Party conference in Bournemouth and had a liaison with a man, and after that I was, you know,
you and Bojo
out and proud. It wasn't Bojo, but it was.
Was it a prominent?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Are they still a Tory?
No, but that's a whole another story.
Interesting. Do you feel like you're healing part of you by owning the club, by making it inclusive, especially as, although you talk about the 90s where people were saying puff and etc. as an insult, I'm sure that still happens now. I'm sure, like you said, this other rugby club owner is like shit posting about you, calling you a little boy or whatever. Do you feel like you're healing something?
Yeah, I feel strong, really. So when I see that stuff, like this guy, the other club owner, I just laugh at it and think, well, actually, you're a little fat bald man. And like, you know, I'm the same age as you, and I've got hair, and like, I can go into a gay bar, and if I wasn't married, I could probably pull, but you couldn't. You couldn't pull in Tiger. So you know, so yeah, I feel strong. I feel like quite proud. We've got respect in the town. We've got respect from the club, from the players, from the sport generally.
I'd love to know what you think about sport, like wider sport, just before we wrap. How do you feel about the lack of queer people playing sport? And are you trying to make a difference in that space?
I think the environment, and now I had this last week, there was a lot of backlash on the Rainbow Laces campaign. You know, I think it is important, and I think it's progress is being made slowly. You know, with us, we are over the top with everything. We put rainbows everywhere to try and counterbalance those that do nothing. But statistically speaking, I think it says a lot that not a lot of players come out. I don't think they feel the environment safe enough, apart from our club, that, you know, we don't have any gay players, but I think they would be very, very safe in doing so in our club. But I just think sport as a general thing, it's not there yet. If you have just one player, I think there is one player that came out in rugby league, Keegan Hurst. You know, I think that says a lot, that they still don't feel safe. In football, how many thousands of football players they normally have to retire to then have the balls really to come out, because probably they think they'll lose their career, they'll get ostracized by their teammates. I don't know, but I think there is a lot that needs to be done still.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks.
It's been amazing.
When you're moving to New York, I hear.
He's been saving that one.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that.
Well, not before I've been up to Keighley.
Oh, there is a change. You see, you said just an away game, but now you're going to come to Keighley.
Yeah, before we started recording, Dan said, I'll come to an away game. When have you got an away game in Birmingham?
Yeah.
How rude is that?
Yeah.
I didn't, sorry if that didn't mean, I didn't mean that to be rude.
I mean, I felt like it was rude.
Did you? Well, I didn't mean it that way.
I was deeply offended. Were you?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Were you ready?
No.
What's it like when you go away? Do you run into issues with like homophobia?
No,
No,
really.
but you can kind of tell, like, people looking at us and probably thinking those things, like, the two clowns. Sometimes
Oh,
people
yeah,
refer
clown.
to us.
The clown emoji, is it emoji they call it?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm showing my age now. Oh my God, the times we've had that thrown at us.
The clown emoji.
clowns.
We're the clowns.
Yeah.
We're the clowns. But
The rainbow
could be
clowns.
worse, right?
Yeah.
And some idiot. So we launched our kit this week actually. Last week, sorry, on Monday, and we've got the progress flag on the front, just a little flag, and someone wrote saying, "Oh, why have you got the German flag on your kit?" I was like, why would you actually make the effort to type that?
The German flag.
Yeah,
Oh.
because obviously it's got like yellow and
Right.
it's got the German flag's got 3 colours.
Right.
So this person thought, oh, that's funny. Let's pretend it's a German flag. No, it's not. It's a progress flag showing gays and trans people.
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't look anywhere near German.
Yeah.
to me.
but he thought it was hilarious.
Well, yeah, we will see you in Keighley. When I don't know anything about rugby. When's the season start? September.
So,
No,
oh
you don't-
God!
It starts
February.
friendlies start in 2 weeks, and then
Okay.
it starts in February.
It starts in 2 weeks. Do you
Yeah.
don't
Friendlies.
you don't take Christmas off?
We have a
Christmas is
Boxing
big though,
Day
isn't it?
kind
Yeah,
of
Boxing
thing.
Day.
Yeah, it's a good
Nice.
earner.
Oh,
We
really?
play
Yeah.
22nd.
When should we come up? Like summertime?
Well, yeah, probably.
For a Pride game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And we
when's
do,
that?
and also there is a match in February for LGBT representation month.
Amazing.
So we do a
Oh,
few
I'd
things.
love
So we're gonna
to.
get you too.
I would love to.
And
do
Manchester
that.
Pride, we have a huge float. So if you're ever in
Yeah.
Manchester for Pride, please come on off.
Again, another title. We were the only professional club that had a float during a Pride game. So
Okay, stop bragging, Coe.
During a Pride.
listen. I said to Ryan, and off the record here, but I said if there is someone in America that owns, I just need to go and kill them, and because then the title is just us.
I think,
Yeah.
I don't like that comma outside of the US. So they need to be gone.
I think there's more in America. It's just that we haven't found out about them.
Well, they
Because if you think
obviously
how
aren't talking about it. So you're
Yeah.
the loudest, proudest
Probably
club in the world.
True,
Yeah.
that should be the title.
Yeah.
The loudest professional club owners, isn't it? Yeah, and then
I
there
think
would be
what
no
you're
one.
doing is amazing.
yeah.
Thank you.
And like chatting to you has healed a traumatized like child of
Charlton
sport.
fan.
So I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm sure the people at Keighley do as well. So
Thank you.
thanks so
Awesome.
much. We'll
Yeah.
see you
Thank you.
at Keighley.
Thank
I hope
you.
so.
Thank
See
you.
you soon.
Yay.